Another game day. Holy crap, they just keep coming and coming and coming and coming, and we don't want to stop, right? Indiana tonight hosting Oregon. That's going to be, you know what? Not the best game of all time. Oregon is not really very good, despite the ability they showed over the weekend to kind of stay close to Purdue. Not a great team. A team that Indiana should beat at Simon Scott Assembly Hall. But it's a team that they must beat. You've got to win this game. You don't win this game, all of a sudden you're likely on the outside looking in with the NCAA tournament, and you're going to have to beat a really good team, whether it's Michigan State at home, Illinois, or Purdue on the road. You're going to have to win one of those games if you screw it up tonight. This is a huge game for the Hoosiers. We're going to talk about it. We'll talk about the Super Bowl last night. For a lot of people, a boring game. Not for me. This was the game that I expected it to be. The Seahawks, a better team, a much better team than the Patriots. Josh McDaniels utterly exposed last night. How about protecting the Seahawks sending 4 most of the night, and the Patriots trying to protect with 6, but never adjusting whatsoever to what the Seahawks were doing. And as a result, Drake May was a sitting duck back there, 6 sacks, an interception, which was really kind of a strip sack. However, it wasn't. And then a pick that just absolutely sealed the deal. So 29-13 last night, the Seahawks get over on the New England Patriots. And I told you all week long, this is going to be a cruise for the Seahawks, and it was. I said it was going to be 23-14. Pretty close. But it was exactly the game that I thought it was going to be. Just didn't land on the exact right score. Pacers, they got another loss yesterday. That's terrific. That's really good. Lost at Toronto to the Raptors, and really wasn't close, which is great. The road trip continues. They've got 2 more games tomorrow night and then Wednesday to wrap up the pre-All-Star game segment of the NBA season. Hopefully, they're able to lose to the Knicks and the Nets and go into the All-Star break looking terrible with 27 games left in the season. In the first 2 games, like the game right before the break against the Nets in Brooklyn, is critical because the Nets are around that same level in the standings as the Pacers, and the Pacers don't need to gain any ground against the Nets. But then they've got 2 immediately after the All-Star break where they take on the Wizards twice, back-to-back games. Hopefully, Pacers guys, other than Siakam, because he's going to the All-Star, is Pascal Siakam not a badass or what? Like, he's got nothing to play for, and yet he just keeps coming. It's kind of wonderful to watch. Like, they are playing for nothing but pride, and that guy's showing up and showing out. Good for Pascal Siakam. But the Pacers, they've got to continue to lose. They need to lose their next 4. I think they lose their next 4. Then with 25 to go, they're really in pretty good shape. Right now, they are next to last in the NBA. And we've got, look, you haven't seen bad basketball yet. Like, Rick Carlisle is going to cook up some terrible basketball. High turnover rates, poor free throw shooting, poor three-point shooting, terrible defense, poor blocking out, bad fundamentals. Let's go, Pacers. Lose them all, baby. 29 more to go. And this is Breakfast with Kent for Monday, February 9th, 2026, brought to you by the great people at Today's Dentistry, Dr. Mike O'Neill, the best in the business. He is the guy. You want great dental health, great dental hygiene, Dr. Mike O'Neill's the guy to provide it. Give him a call, 317-849-2933. He gets it done for you. You got a hole in your mouth? He's got a hole in his schedule. Call Julie, ask for an appointment, and tell her that Kent told you to call. You'll get the hookup, 317-849-2933, the number. All right, become a member. The member chat, the Coffee with Kent, Saturday morning, absolutely spectacular. Great attendance from the members and great questions and answers. We had an awesome time on Saturday morning. Become a member today. We've got more member stuff in the pipeline, so become a member today. We'll announce those things soon. As much as I hate wanting any team to root for or lose, let's agree, or I agree, let's go Pacers, lose, and then lose, and then 24 or 27 more losers. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how that goes. Become a subscriber, and you can win this on Thursday. All right? This is beautiful. Like, this isn't some, like, shady Celtics jersey. Very cool Celtics jersey. An Antoine Walker autographed Celtics jersey. I love the green with the white. I don't need any black in there. I don't like the white with the green as much as I like with the green with the white. Absolute classic. Antoine Walker, sewn on numbers, sewn on letters, and he signed it his own self. So there you go. You can win that on Thursday, but you must be a subscriber, and you must use the phrase that pays, and the phrase that pays today is go IU. Need a win from the Hoosiers. We'll talk about that in a second. Hit the thumbs up. Smash that thumbs up. And if you want to make a donation, no big whoop, but please include a comment or a question that elevate the level of discourse on this channel. All right, let's talk about the Hoosiers. 8:30 tonight. A little bit late, but that's okay. We're going to make it. And Ken Pom picks IU by 11. Now, I don't think that the tout services do anything more than look at Ken Pom and round it down. Like Ken Pom, or round it to the next half. So Ken Pom says 11, it's Indiana by 11.5. That is the number. Oregon has lost 9 in a row, including that game at Mackey Arena over the weekend, where Oregon was in that game for a while, right? And then kind of fell apart a little bit. You need to hit shots. You need to avoid fouls. That's the recipe for Indiana's success. No foul problems. No forcing yourself to go into a rotation you don't want to go into because somebody picked up a second foul in the first or a third foul early in the second. You know what? That's good for Indiana. You got to hit some threes. More threes than he hit over the weekend in the win. That wasn't enough. 5 threes. You got to hit more. Indiana really not shooting the ball too terribly well, minus Lamar Wilkerson, who has been kind of magical. Got to tell you the truth. That dude is balling out and scoring buckets. The defense has been really good. And that's been fun to watch come along. That defense is what's going to win Indiana the game tonight. And then they go on the road. They got a game at Illinois, who's playing well despite Michigan State beating their ass on Saturday night. What a game that was. My goodness. Went to overtime. Great ball game. Really a lot of fun. But Illinois, big, fundamentally sound. They do a lot of things right. So but we're not overlooking Oregon. You can't overlook Oregon. You're going to have to win this game, go 8-6, and we've talked about this. You get to 8-6 in the Big Ten, and then you build yourself a little bit of room for grace. And grace might be needed because you do have that road game at the other Assembly Hall in Champaign-Urbana, and then you've got another game at Mackey Arena against Purdue, trying to get the season sweep against Purdue. Purdue not playing good basketball right now. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're not playing well. And if that can continue for another week or so, Indiana's got a pretty good chance up in West Lafayette. Then you've got 2 games at home, 3 games at home. You've got Northwestern, Michigan State, and Minnesota. You need to win 2 of those 3, if not all 3. If you win all 3, then that final game against Ohio State is kind of for pride. Get to 11-9 in the Big Ten. You have to win all 3 of the home games remaining. Then you're 11-9, and you go to the NCAA tournament. Let's not make this a nail biter again. Got to go to the Big Ten tournament. It'd be nice to win a game, but Indiana's playing well enough that they should. If they're a 9 seed in the Big Ten tournament playing an 8, I think that's the way it works. Like the bracket for the Big Ten tournament is really kind of goofy. So I'm not sure how that all works. Anyway, we'll see. about the Hoosiers tonight. A loss tonight would really be deleterious to the Indiana hopes to get to the NCAA tournament. Indiana really hasn't played a great game yet. You've had Dorn, you've had Alexis, and you've had Bailey all have good games, but none on the same night. And if Indiana can get to where those guys all function really, really well on the same night, Indiana could win a lot of games. So we'll see. We'll see if they're able to do that tonight. And by the way, tonight they're going to honor the 1976 team, finished 32-0, won the national championship. Less than 4 weeks left in the regular season, and then it's off to Chicago, right? Hard to believe it has been that. Like, this season has gone by like this, and I think a lot of it had to do with Indiana football. And then we start talking about the portal and recruiting already. Doesn't seem like this season just started. What's going on? Super Bowl, 29-13 last night. I predicted 23-14. I thought that Seattle was going to cruise. I told you that they would, and they did. And part of that was Josh McDaniels, who's ability to coordinate an offense is way overplayed. Best day that ever happened for Chris Ballard was the day that Josh McDaniels said no and went back to New England. That's the best day he ever had as a general manager. He'd have been fired. McDaniels would have been fired. This team would be on a different course entirely if Josh McDaniels had come here as the head coach. Walker was the MVP and should have been. PJ White, 28, says, if Darnold can win a Super Bowl, it gives me a spark of hope. The Colts can win one with Jones. They just got to get the right pieces on defense. That's the offseason. And that's great timing, PJ, because that's what we're going to talk about a little bit. How do they get there? Defense. You've got to improve the defense. How many guys on the defense do you really feel good about right now? DeForest Buckner, Sauce Gardner, maybe Mooney Ward if he comes back. You don't feel too bad about Cam Bynum. You don't feel good about the linebackers at all. Box safety, you're not sure whether you're going to be able to re-sign Nick Cross. Hopefully you are. Grover Stewart's getting a little bit old, but can still be a kind of a run game plug in the middle. The other edge, empty. Linebackers, empty. You are 3 really good players away from this defense being as functional as the Seattle Seahawks defense was, as dominating as they were last night. It went way beyond functionality. The Colts, they need some help this offseason. They got to get lucky. They need another Darius Leonard in that draft, worse than anything. Say hello to Danella Miller, a great lady. Hello, Danella. How are you? Could Bailey sit down with Benson and get some low post suggestions on how to score? I think he knows how to score. I think he's got to figure out how to play defense without fouling. Phillip Rivers almost beat the Super Bowl champs. You know what? That tells you that the Colts really aren't that far away. Nobody is in the NFL. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens this offseason. But you got to get things right with no picks in the first round and maybe some free agents, maybe 2 free agents and a draft. You rely on one to kind of get there, and you got to re-sign Alec Pierce. There is a lot of heavy work. Like last year, you felt okay running it back. This year, you don't. You can't just run it back. That's not a strategy for success. You have got to switch out the linebackers. They got to go. Kwity Paye, going to go in free agency, and he got to, right? And then you got to keep Alec Pierce. And Daniel Jones is going to have to heal perfectly. That's the recipe for success. Pacers, losers in Toronto, 122-104. 2 more games before the All-Star break at the Knicks, then at the Nets. Lose both. And do it with some real limp-wristed paucity of talent and aggression. Can you? Sam Arnold won a Super Bowl before Ballard won a division. That's absolutely true. Who would have thought that happened? Although it's really not I mean, Sam Darnold was the quarterback for the Super Bowl champ Seattle Seahawks. He did not win the game for Seattle. I understand the distinction, though, and you do too. The quad god. We haven't talked about the Olympics at all. The quad god, how unbelievable was he in the team skate? Holy crap. Like that, he just does shit nobody else does. Like, and looks like a diva, doesn't he? He takes the ice like he's Freddie Mercury. He knows that stage is his, right? Brian says, is AR5 going to pan out? It's taking way too long. He might be in the pan, but he's frying. And getting out of the pan is going to be a little bit difficult because to get out of the pan, he's going to have to get on the field. And I don't think that day's coming for the Indianapolis Colts. Let's celebrate some birthdays, shall we, on this Monday morning? Larry Meadows, happy birthday. Margie Wells Milligan. Margie Wells, what an awesome classmate at Central School in Lake Bluff, Illinois. She was tremendous. John Barnes, celebrating a birthday. Frank Miller, the great Louise Cornetta, did a great job producing at ESPN Radio for all those years. Brian Hoover, John Beck, radio legend, icon. Jason Venturi, celebrating a birthday today. The great Rick Starr, a fine radio general manager, ran WMAQ in Chicago and did a great job at WMAQ. What a news gathering machine that was. Tony Rehagen, celebrating a birthday. If today's your birthday, you celebrate like hell. If it's not your birthday, celebrate somebody else. That's best done with an honest and specific compliment. Lift each other up. Don't pull each other down. Be good to one another. We'll talk later today, live from Bloomington, as the 1976 team celebrates its accomplishment, the final. It's been 50 years since there's been an undefeated team. Could Miami of Ohio go undefeated through the regular season in the conference tournament in the MAC? They could, and we'll see. We'll be down there Friday for the Miami of Ohio game. I think it's going to be, like, you got to see it. Got to see it for yourself to figure out whether this is real. Is St. Louis real? SLU, one loss this year. Are they real? That's a pretty good hire by SLU, wasn't it? The guy who was at Indiana State, for God's sake. Have a stellar day. All of you smile. It increases our face value. There you go. Now you're thinking. All right, we'll be down in Bloomington tonight. We'll talk to you from there. Can't wait.